Money has always been misunderstood. People chase it like it's freedom itself. But freedom isn't earned with paper. It isn't measured in digits in a bank. Money is a mirror that shows who holds power and who bows to it. Today's game has evolved, but the rules haven't changed. Whoever understands the flow of money commands the flow of people. The masses see money as survival. The wise see it as strategy. Ask yourself, do you chase money or make money chase the world for you? The modern world worships wealth. People build brands instead of character. They chase likes, followers, and noise, mistaking visibility for influence. But perception is the throne of power. Money doesn't just buy comfort. It buys influence, attention, and obedience. Look around. Tech companies, media empires, social influencers. They don't sell products. They sell belief. And you convince yourself to pay the price. Every tap, every subscription, every click, your attention is transferred. And when attention is organized, it becomes invisible control. Freedom without awareness is just slavery in nicer packaging. If Machiavelli lived today, he wouldn't flaunt wealth. He'd watch silently, study the flow, observe who bends, who breaks, and who can be commanded with just a whisper of currency. Power today is invisible. The rulers of the past needed armies. The rulers now need subscribers. Kings once conquered land. Today they conquer timelines. Control is subtle, seamless, disguised as service, and we call it convenience. The strong move in the shadows. The weak scream in the spotlight. Visibility is vulnerability. Obscurity is strength. The powerful don't flaunt their money. They move it like generals move troops. Strategically, precisely, invisibly. Their wealth isn't measured by a bank statement. It's measured in influence, loyalty, and control. Networks, systems, alliances. They build structures that work silently. Billionaires may sit on thrones, but the architects behind the systems, they own the switches. Money has two meanings today. For the many, survival. For the few, leverage. The masses earn to consume. The powerful earn to command. And that is the line between dependence and freedom. Ask yourself this: how many could survive if their paycheck stopped this month? If the system paused their income, credit, access? That's not freedom. That's permission to live. True freedom comes when money moves for you, not through labor, but through strategy, leverage, architecture. The quiet few who understand this, they do not chase the spotlight. They do not boast. They build empires invisibly. Money is behavior. It is influence. It is the silent pulse of power. Once you see it, once you understand it, you no longer serve the system. The system serves you, and that is freedom. For centuries, money was tangible: gold, silver, weight, substance. But once paper replaced metal, power shifted, not to those who held gold, but to those who issued paper. And when paper could be created in excess of reserves, something irreversible happened. The system no longer required wealth to exist. It required confidence, and confidence is fragile. Banks discovered something profound. They did not need to own all the gold. They only needed people to believe it was there. That belief became leverage, and leverage became expansion. Cities grew, industry accelerated, debt became normal. Not temporary debt, permanent debt. Entire economies began operating on credit, money that technically did not yet exist. The system was no longer about storage, it was about multiplication. And multiplication without restraint always demands stability. So institutions evolved, policies were written, central authority strengthened, not to eliminate risk, but to manage collapse. Because when money is built on confidence, panic becomes the greatest threat, and panic spreads faster than truth. By the time the public noticed change, it was already normalized. Wages were earned in paper, taxes were collected in paper, debts were measured in paper, gold became symbolic, paper became reality. And once an entire generation grows up inside a system, it stops questioning the walls. Fractional reserve banking did not create money. It created dependence. Dependence on credit, dependence on institutions, dependence on stability controlled by a few. The cage was never physical. It was structural. You don't see bars. You see opportunity. You don't see control. You see economic growth. But every expansion built on borrowed money demands repayment, and repayment requires production, which means time, which means labor, which means life. The system is not chaotic. It is mathematical. It is designed to expand. Expansion requires borrowing. Borrowing requires trust. Trust requires authority, and authority protects itself. The cycle continues, not because it is evil, but because it is efficient. Efficient systems survive, and systems that survive shape generations. The question is no longer, is fractional reserve banking real? It is. The real question is, do you understand the structure you operate inside? Because once you understand structure, you stop reacting emotionally, and you start moving strategically.